welcome back / welcome in if this is your first time watching. Today, as you can see, I have the full cosplay on of Ganyu from Genshin Impact. My personal favorite character, should be yours too. And today I just wanted to talk about some tips that can help you elevate your cosplays to the next level fairly quick and easy, I would say. I mean, it will take some time to implement everything, but I think once you have these set as a goal in your mind, it's pretty easy to adopt them into your routine, and then you'll see an improvement in your cosplays. So the first, and honestly, probably most important tip out of all of these would be investing in a crimper. I think if you ask any cosplayer for advice on how you should improve your cosplays, they're probably going to bring up this bad boy. And the reason for that being, it is just such an essential tool for wig styling. It helps add volume and just generally makes your wig easier to style. Now, I will say there are a couple techniques that go into crimping successfully, so it doesn't leave marks. Like here, I kind of messed up and didn't get the marks out of this fully, but there's a lot of tutorials online that you can look up. I'll leave a couple of useful creators here who I think have good tutorials on how to crimp. Because I think it's just a really great tool to elevate your wig styling and help you get those shapes. Like these sort of spikes here really would only be possible with the crimper. Okay, the next tip I want to talk about is in regards to makeup. So here's something that I used to struggle with is I would not make my makeup bold enough. And it would look bold in the mirror, but when I looked at the pictures, it was really washed out. You couldn't really see that I had anything on. And especially when you're going to conventions and you have photographers taking pictures and editing pictures of you, you want your makeup to be able to stand out between all the lighting and the post photo editing that they're going to be doing. So just as a rule of thumb, if your makeup looks kind of crazy and way too dark and way too bold in the mirror, you're probably doing something right because you really want to exaggerate this. Okay, the third tip is sort of makeup related, but just to preface before I get into this one, I know some people can't use this just because of medical reasons or they're too nervous to try it or for anything else, but I will say what can really help elevate your cosplay is colored contacts. Alright, so if colored contacts are something you're interested in trying, I'll just go ahead and explain how I like to buy them just in case you want to follow along. So personally, I usually hate buying contacts several times a year just because I hate waiting for them and dealing with expiration dates that are like kind of random, like 3 months, 6 months is just a little too much for me to keep track of. So I like to, once a year, I'll go onto one of these contact websites usually, and I'll place an order for a batch of yearly contacts. So usually I'll get red, yellow, green, blue, purple, usually black. It just depends on what kind of characters you're going to be doing. And obviously you don't have to get the whole rainbow if you don't intend on cosplaying characters that have all of the colors of the rainbow in their eyes. And then once those contacts expire, I will rinse and repeat and do the same thing the next year. It's really important that you're not putting expired things in your eyes because your eyes are something you don't want to mess around with. And also, please make sure you're getting these contacts from reputable sites. So I would never recommend getting them from Amazon or AliExpress because that's just not something you want to be putting in your eyes. Okay, my fourth tip is to learn the expressions and physical mannerisms of the character that you're cosplaying. Now, this tip in particular is more so for cosplayers who are intending on posting photos of their cosplays or going to conventions and getting pictures taken, but I think it can also be helpful to everyone. I promise you this really does make a huge difference when your facial expressions and your poses match the personality of the character you're cosplaying. Sort of in that same vein, just try and have some variety with the poses you're doing as well, especially if you're doing a photo shoot. I think it's really great to have a bunch of different poses that you can do if you're working with a photographer or if you're just shooting by yourself. Now, for the fifth tip, I know I said that the first one was the most important one, but honestly, I think this one might take the cake. I cannot stress to you enough how important it is to be patient with yourself when you're learning. Now, believe me, I know how upsetting it is when your cosplay doesn't turn out the way you want it to, or a piece keeps falling off, or your makeup looks weird. It's honestly made me want to quit sometimes, I'm not even lying. But in these instances, I think it's super important to take a step back and just be kind to yourself and just kind of try and figure out what exactly you don't like about how the cosplay turned out and what you can maybe do to fix it next time. And always remember, for as long as you're doing this hobby, your cosplays are going to change, and the way that you like your makeup to look or the way that you like your wigs to be styled or anything will always be evolving as you continue doing the hobby. And then just as a broad general pointer, just see if you can try and figure out what you want your cosplays to look like and find your own unique style within that. So for me, I've always tried to look at other cosplayers on Instagram, TikTok, wherever, and see what I really like what they did with their cosplay and try and recreate that, but in my own unique, personal way. And then just to round it off, I will say, have fun. Cosplay is a hobby at the end of the day, so please just try not to get wrapped up in things like view counts being low, not getting enough engagement, or being bad at something. Just remember, do what is fun for you, because that's what this hobby is supposed to be. Okay, I think that'll be it from me today. If there's anything else you think I missed in this video, please feel free to include in the comments below. And if you found any of these helpful, please tell me. I would love to hear that. And I hope to see you again soon. Have a great rest of your day.